What's going on, everybody? We are back for Bodybuilding and Bollocks, episode number 4. And I'm here with my co-host, Luke Sandow.
Hello.
Who is currently the fucking man of the hour because he is 5 days out and still putting in work on the podcast. So
I don't understand why he wouldn't. I mean, I've been recording with Redcon all day. I haven't sat down all fucking day.
Yeah,
it's great.
Not me, man. 5 days out, 5 days out, 6 days out. I'm not doing shit.
Well, I mean, I don't go to. I'm in Boca at the moment, so when I go to Tampa in like when are we going to Tampa? Wednesday.
Yeah.
So probably Thursday or Friday, I'll do fucking nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're at the hotel, I've done that too, where I've gone to the hotel early, and you kind of have like nothing to do. So I guess it's okay that way. It kind of gives you something to pass the time.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't mind being. I'm kind of like still in normal contest prep for the next 2 days. Nothing, just training as normal, eating as normal.
What's your training's normal right now? You don't scale back at all last week?
I do a bit just because, I mean, we trained earlier and my joints felt just fragile.
Yeah, well, fuck.
You know what? You might the way to describe it is my knees just felt really small.
Yeah.
Like my knees, they didn't hurt. They just felt small.
It felt like they couldn't handle the load.
Like when I put my knee sleeves on, they were tight on my calves. And then when I pulled them onto my knee, they were super baggy around my knee. It was like, there's no fucking point in wearing them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just feel really...
What's you're not carb loading yet? Not till like Wednesday or Thursday?
I don't know. I've just texted Chris and said, do you want pictures before I go to bed?
Did he deplete you? Are you depleted? Like, are you depleting right now?
Well, you know what? I was talking about this with somebody earlier. At the end of a prep, you fucking should be depleted.
No, but I mean, like, did he purposely, like, some coaches will purposely, like,
no,
starting a few days before the load will deplete you hard.
No, he's never done that to me. I don't think that's a good approach either. I think for most people, it's a recipe to get things really wrong. Like, if you're already looking brilliant, I don't think you should fuck around too much.
I can agree with that. I used to always think that the common theory, and I don't know if it's a fact or a scientific fact or a theory, but the common theory is the more depleted you are, the better your absorption of carbs. So
yeah, but also the more, I mean, that is true. But the thing is, I normally, when I've seen people do that, they always seem a bit quite a lot softer.
Yeah.
The amount of carbs you need to fill out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, well, the best I ever looked, you're right, because I think when you over deplete, you have to start loading really, really hard, and then you don't get the same look.
You got to think about your midsection as well. I mean, how is your midsection going to look if you're ramming all that food in for like 2 days?
Exactly. Yeah. No, the best I ever looked, me and John, for Orlando, I wasn't super flat, and we just started. We started carb loading on the Monday before the show.
Okay.
But just like 50 grams. He added like 50 grams on the Monday. Added another 100 grams on the Tuesday, added a couple hundred more grams on the Wednesday. And by then I was already like feeling good. Like,
yeah, this is kind of what Chris has normally done with me. I've never done a carb load with him. Ever.
Yeah. That's why I despise the term peak week.
Oh, it's just because it rhymes. I mean, if a week was 11 days, people would still say, "Oh, it's peak week." Because it rhymes. That's it.
No, but seriously, because I'm like, I used to believe in the peak week thing when I was younger, but after doing this for so long, I realized my best preps and my best showings ever were when like very, very little changed.
I think that's true for most people. I think it's just easier said than done.
Well, yeah, because you get all fucking anxious and you feel like you have to do all these magic things to like get your body to fill out and look better and get veiny.
Like, the other thing is as well, like everyone's your head's like your worst enemy.
Yeah.
So you might think, I'm soft. I need more of this, or I need to stop drinking. I need to drink less. I need less sodium, more of this, less carb, more carb, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're actually peeled out of your mind anyway. You don't need to do anything more. You look great. But in your own head, you can always get more out of it, and it always goes wrong.
Yeah. That's actually... People are like, I've heard people say to me like, well, why do you have a coach? You're a pro. You've been a pro for so long. Why do you have a coach? That's the exact reason why I have a coach.
Well, I had this thing the other day. Somebody was actually criticizing me quite heavily on Facebook for having a coach.
Why?
Chris gave me a burger and fries, and apparently a pro bodybuilder doesn't need to be told when they can have a burger and fries or something. And then a lot of other people chimed in and said, I should learn how to do it myself. you're a professional. You're absolutely right. What it boils down to is there are large sums of money up for grabs here. This is how I feed my family. This is what I do. This is my job. I have sponsors. I have contracts. I need to be the best I can. I don't trust my own abilities to make the absolute right decision. I don't trust my logic.
Yep.
I don't to override my emotions at the time. So
yeah, when you're that depleted,
and I'd rather hire somebody who's going to make way better decisions than I'm comfortable with making myself to make me the best I can be.
Yeah.
And that's not being called. Somebody said, "Well, it's just lazy." No, it's not, because if I tell myself I've got to do an hour's cardio, or Chris tells me I've got to do an hour's cardio, it's still an hour's cardio. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with what I have to do is not that's nothing to do with being lazy.
Yeah.
Doing it. That's all that matters.
Well, I don't think they mean lazy in terms of physical output. I think
it's no more or less effort.
I think what they're trying to say is, and I'm not agreeing with them, I think what they're trying to say is you're too lazy to put in the effort to learn how to do it yourself. But what they don't understand is you're right. At this level, like this guy might be training himself for fucking some amateur show somewhere.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that at this level there's 6-figure contracts and there's lots of money and bonuses and shit all involved. And look, the thing I always point to is this. Tom Brady's been throwing a football for 35 years. Yeah. He still has a quarterback coach. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody ever looks at other professional sports. Like, there's pitching coaches, there's batting coaches, there's quarterback coaches, defensive line coaches, whatever sport you want to pick, there are coaches for that position.
Yeah.
Our sport is the only sport where people are like, why don't you do it yourself? Yeah. Like, why would I if there's somebody that fucking knows more than I do?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a question of learning your body, because my body fucking makes its mind up as it goes along. It does different shit all the time. And I'm dealing with enough to think about.
Yeah.
Having to think about that as well. And I completely understand why people would think it's lazy, but it's nothing. It's nothing lazy. It's just okay, put it this way. I am shit at gardening.
Yeah.
I hate it and I'm shit at it. I would much rather pay somebody to mow my fucking lawn than me do it myself.
Yeah.
Not because I can't. I just would rather have a professional do it.
Well, I don't think this is what I think. For me anyway, I'll just say for myself. When I'm within 4 weeks of a show, my brain starts to get fucked up.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes you look and you're like, oh, I feel shredded. Sometimes you look and you're like, I feel fat. Yeah. When really you're just the same every day, but you can't see it clearly because you're in your own head.
Yes.
And I don't pay John for the miraculous diet he's given me. It's like everybody else's. It's chicken, rice, whatever. I pay John to go, you're fine. Just cut 50 grams of carbs.
Yes.
You're fine. You still look good. Add 100 grams of carbs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's just that calming, like, I don't got to think about it. And I can't see things clearly when I'm depleted and I'm in my own head.
No, definitely not. Definitely
and
not.
The pressure, you know what I mean? People think of it like when you're 16 weeks out. Yeah, when I'm 16 weeks out, I can make the decisions. Yep. When I'm 2 weeks out and I'm focused on who's going to be at the show and who I got to beat and all the money and the pressure starts to mount and you start making rash decisions.
I would also assume you do most of your own off season, right?
What's that?
You do your own off season.
I do my own off season.
Yeah, because it's easy. Because
there's no pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But nobody ever has a go at Ronnie Coleman for using Chad Nichols.
Yeah.
Whatever seems to bring that up.
You know what? Just people have fucking something to say no matter what. That's what it is. Like, I've tried. I used to try to put out videos or post things that would like kind of cover all the bases so nobody could talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
Never works.
Well, the one thing that I've always learned, and I thought, like, it might be a British thing. You've kind of got, like, if you know something's going to be called out, you make a joke of it first.
Yeah.
But it's about yourself. I will take the piss out of myself first, because then I've taken the power away from everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like you tell somebody a secret and they try and use that against you. It's like, well, you can't, because I'm the one that told you that. Yeah. You can't just fucking start using that against me because I told you.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay. So aside from all that shit, how are you feeling about the show this weekend? Everything's on track?
Yeah, I feel. You know what? I barely look at myself. I'm just like fucking mid the pictures.
Those are the best ones.
I'm just like not interested. I'm seeing him on Wednesday, so I know how good the Arnold peak was, and I'm already better than I was a week after the Arnold. So
good.
I feel good. I'm fucking tired. I've only had about an hour and a half, 2 hours sleep. So,
How are you? Are you filming a lot of stuff for Brutal Muscle?
lots for Brutal Muscle. We're doing updates every day, and we're doing the Redcon Both Barrels series.
Wait a minute. For you guys who don't know, Luke, tell them what Brutal Muscle is.
Okay, Ben, come here.
Ben is Luke's training partner. For those of you who don't already know,
he's my business partner, my training partner, and the godfather to my son. I don't really like him.
And I'm the back shaver as well.
He's the back shaver, yeah. So,
we all have a back shaver.
Yeah.
Fucking wants that job. It sucks.
Brutal Muscle, for those of you that don't know what it is, essentially it's two different things. We wanted to bring back the old classic format of a magazine in terms of the amount of content and videos we put out, and the forums, the articles, information. And aside from that, we have a massive video log section called In the Trenches. So it's essentially like Netflix for bodybuilding, and we just commission videos from top IFBB pros and amateurs from all around the world to do videos, content, go on the forums, all that kind of shit. So I'm actually filming with Flex Lewis next Tuesday for the site. So
the site is brutalmuscle.com.
brutalmuscleonline.com.
And how much is the membership?
£6.99, so it's about $9 a month.
All right, but I'm sure the one thing, because listen, ever since I started talking about gear online,
yep,
I'm getting gear questions like left and right. So these guys, you guys have got a doctor.
We have Dave Crosland, who is he's a harm reduction expert in the UK, and he also deals with a lot of legality things and cases of steroids in the UK. So he's like the government advisor basically to everything. He's also done every fucking cycle you can ever think of. He got up to 400 pounds. He's done 2 documentaries on himself called Under Construction 1 and 2. So he's our like facilitator and moderator for the whole drug side of the site. So you're welcome to go on there, ask him any questions. He'll make videos answering your questions. So we have that whole side of the site. We've got Ben as well, who's a strength conditioning coach. You can tell what you do.
I do. I'm Luke's videographer.
Yeah, he's my back shaver, but he's also a massively qualified coach and a bodybuilder himself. So like a lot of people don't know this about Ben because he doesn't talk about it for fucking some reason. But he's a phenomenal bodybuilder, athlete, whatever you want to call him. But tell everyone what your qualifications are and what you doing. Bit about yourself.
Yeah, I have a degree in human bioscience, which basically it's kind of a lot of biochemistry, which in terms of bodybuilding, it's useful to have that. It carries over quite a lot. When I graduated from university, I was a strength and conditioning coach. And I worked for Saracens, which are a rugby team in the UK. They're kind of one of the best ones. So there's a lot of the international rugby players there. So I worked there for about 1.5 years, just as an intern. I'm not going to try and play off like I was the fucking head strength and conditioning coach, but yeah, I did that for a number of years, and then crossed over into just doing one-on-one PT work in the city, which was.
So sorry to interrupt. Let me ask you guys people, when they sign up, they have access to, like, if I sign up, I have access to all 3 of you to ask you whatever questions I want.
So I have my own forum, which is just basically a concepts prep blog where I answer questions. Ben is also on the chemical warfare section with Dave. But obviously we have all of the other. We've got a training forum, we have a nutrition forum, general forum. Ben's active across all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so all you guys are asking me, like, I'm getting 100 DMs a day about gear.
Yep.
I can't answer all of them, and I actually don't.
Well, if you're a member of the site, then you can ask Ben.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
you can ask Ben or you can ask Dave. I prefer not to answer questions just because when I'm honest, people tell me I'm lying, and I'm sick and tired of trying to defend myself.
Also, we have Dave on there is to basically absolve Luke of having to talk about things that IFBB don't really want them to talk about, right? So it allows myself, I have no affiliation with the IFBB, I can say whatever, how I want. Dave Crosland can say what he wants, and he knows how to word things in a way that's going to be legally safe. There's not dangerous. We're all about trying to just give education to people without, because people, look, let's be honest, a lot of people are going to do stuff anyway, right?
Yeah.
So instead of saying, look, don't do that, it's bad, we're saying, okay, look, this is what you should do, this is the safe way to do it. We also have an affiliation with like blood work company, so we refer people across to them so that we're encouraging people to test and kind of look after their health and prioritize that as well.
But that being said, the site itself isn't purely for, like, the education part's probably like this big.
No, I get it. I'm not saying like go there and like it's all about gear. All I'm saying is we started this podcast partly so we could educate people, but I actually am just going to say flat out, I don't know enough to answer some of the questions I'm getting. If you guys go to their site,
yes,
I'm sure they're well enough versed to answer any questions.
Actually, I was about to add to this because I get questions all the time like, "Oh, I'm trying to get my wife pregnant. What do you think I should do?" Well, what you should do is not ask a bodybuilder. Maybe get So that's a big help.
But one of the things that members can do is they can set up their own log.
Yeah, we have a members log. So
if you're a member, you can set up your own prep log and you can document everything. And then Luke will see that, and if he wants to comment on there, he can. And
okay.
We've also have the mobile app, which went live about 6 weeks ago for Android and Apple, so it's free. So,
okay, so listen, you guys who don't know shit, who are like just trying to get all your information from like bits and pieces here and there on Instagram, spend the $10 a month and get some fucking real information.
Yeah, I mean, or you could even go one up that. There's plenty of shit coaches out there that think they know what they're doing, and frankly, I'm sick of them just using wrong words like illicit hypertrophy and carbohydrate and CHO instead of carbs. Because they're trying to be smart asses and they're not.
Yeah.
But have people like Ben, who legitimately is a phenomenal bodybuilder. He has all the academic qualifications and he walks the walk, and he's not stupid or irresponsible. If you want to get a good coach, you want to get that one up, hire someone like Ben. What's your email? This is a shameless plug, but what is your email?
Okay, it is a shameless plug.
No, it's not. Sorry, say it again.
benchowpt@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram, which is Spotlight Chow.
I honestly wish when I started I had access to people and sites like ours, sites like Trained by JP, podcasts like this, or people like Ben who are who could offer the information you want, and it's not. And it's actual true, and it's true. It's not bullshit.
Yeah, no, I know. These guys are like, this is what I'm saying. Like, some of these guys are watching like these shitty fucking videos on Instagram, on YouTube.
Anthony, that's what Evan called him.
Anthony, yeah, his name's Anthony now. From now on, forevermore. So people are watching Anthony and getting their fucking information from him, and I'm like, look, man, just spend $10 and get somebody who really knows what the fuck they're talking about.
You know what, as well, the one thing about the site we try and do is we try and cover everything. It's not just all me and Ben training really fucking heavy. It's we want to see everything, because there's so many bodybuilders out there who, like, okay, here's an example. Regan Grimes, the way he trains, I don't understand how it's possible for him to look the way he does.
I know, right?
Like, you train really, it looks shit. It's not, because he looks phenomenal, but I would be embarrassed to post videos like that, because I'd be like, that's not real training. But,
well, come on. The other day he posted a...
Yeah, he does post heavy stuff, but I mean, the majority of what he posts is really fluffy, so I'm never going to stand here and say that doesn't work. It absolutely perfectly works. You can see it works. So I want to see that, because it's not just my way or the highway. There is so many fucking ways that work.
Can I say something about that? Just because this is also a misconception on Instagram.
Yes.
I post fluffy shit like that too. And I know Regan does all the time. And I know why he does it.
Yep.
Regan's like an Instagram superstar.
Yes, he is.
And Regan knows that posting a 5-plate squat is not going to get people excited.
I think it would.
He's done it. He did it like last week or something like that.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, listen. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. The grimy curl, as he calls it, with the two two plates and the preacher curl.
Yep.
It's like taking off.
Yeah.
Everybody's reposting.
Yeah. But
that's why he does this shit.
I completely get it. And my point was what he's doing. Although in my head, I'd be like, I'm never going to train like that ever.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to train like that unless I was injured and fucked up and old.
No, but you're missing my point. You're missing my point. What I'm trying to say is, he may take a snippet of his workout and post it because that's going to get a lot of traction.
Yes.
But what people are missing is he probably looks like that because the rest of his fucking workout.
That is true. Yeah. But going back to it, my kind of main point was there's a million ways to do bodybuilding. It all fucking works, and we want to see it all on our side. Not just the little 1% that I believe works or Ben believe works. We want to see everything.
But the other thing as well is we don't, like, him and I will post. Also, people see Luke lifting the real heavy stuff because that's what interests us. But we still do some fluffy shit after as well.
Yeah. I would say
so. We're the opposite to Regan. So we'll still do the heavy stuff and post that. But we're still doing the bullshit, boring curls and the flies and.
We're not doing grimy curls.
I just posted. You guys are gonna love my most recent post. I just posted some banded dumbbell flies.
I think I saw them. But you have just torn your tricep, and you're like, what, 70? So
But I was doing them even when I was healthy.
yeah, but, that's what, but you've always. But yeah, but
Anyways,
well, you have to, well, yeah, the thing is though,
what are you gonna do if I come back and beat you next year?
this fucking guy.
That's on record now.
No, I did beat you a couple years
No,
ago.
I know. But the thing is, like with you, like when I used to watch all your, I used to watch all your old training videos when you used to bench 4 or 5 plates with your big, massive Muscle Tech t-shirt on.
Yeah.
I remember those. I used to watch those training videos all the time.
Well,
You
I try.
your muscle doing that stuff.
Yeah, I try and tell people all the time that all the bullshit you see me posting on Instagram, that's after I did all the real shit at the beginning of the workout.
Yeah, exactly. But so going back to Regan, like he has an incredible amount of muscle, and I don't think he approaches bodybuilding at all in the same way that I do.
No.
So that's why I love it, because
it seems very easy for him.
Everything's so different. Yeah, he is a genetic freak. Like people tell me that I'm a genetic freak, and it's like, yeah, you might be right. I probably do have really good genetics, but I'm still doing the shit that not a lot of other people will do.
But can I ask you, have you ever met somebody like that? Like I went to the Arnold's with Regan and a group of guys a couple years back.
Yeah.
And it just seems effortless for him.
I know.
Like it didn't seem like it was a big deal for him to get his meals in or like work out or like take pictures with people at the expo. Like the whole bodybuilding experience seems easy for him.
Because it's what he loves. And I think when you love every aspect of it, it looks easy because you
but listen, I love bodybuilding. I fucking can't stand dieting. It's a bitch. Like I fucking, I just like,
I know. But I mean, but maybe he does. He just internalizes it.
I've witnessed him for his whole pro career now, right? So about a year, just over a year before you turn pro, right?
Yeah.
It's got progressively easier for him. I say from the outside looking in, obviously he's doing the work.
Yeah.
But he's taking it in his stride way better now than he was 3 or 4 years ago. Right?
That happened to me too. Like if you talk to my wife, like me getting ready for a show at 30 was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Versus now it's like kind of comes in stride a little bit.
Also, I've noticed with you as well, you're really fucking peeled all year round, or you're really vascular and hard all the time. And you never used to be.
It's only because all the fat is like only around my stomach. So in a t-shirt or a pair of shorts, I look shredded.
You look at the back of your head like I have as well.
Yeah, I got a little hot dog back here. Yeah.
I think there's something to that because I've seen bodybuilders as they go through their career, their limbs stay leaner and then it holds more body fat.
I've noticed as well, like, for some reason, my legs are a lot drier than my upper body for the first time ever. I'm gonna go back to I just think it's age, man. Yeah, no, I agree with age. Yeah, I've also noticed as well. You said this earlier, like my face doesn't blow up anymore in the off season. It's not. It doesn't stay lean, but it just doesn't go up. Like, I try so
hard, man.
What, to get yours fat?
Yeah, I want that fucking swole basketball face fucking look. I want that.
Would swap because he fucking hates it.
I would off season so much harder if you give me a pill that made my face not blow up.
That's
okay, wait a minute. I'm going to tell – how old are you, Ben?
31.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys this. When you're 40 and you can't get basketball face anymore, because the thing is this, basketball face also comes with basketball muscle. I can't get that really swole fucking – you know, Regan, how it looks –
You could look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man year round. No.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but I bet your wife doesn't when she's like, you look like a meatball.
She don't give a fuck.
That's true.
The first year we were together, it was my fattest year ever. And she was like, actually one day she said, I think you should slow down a bit. And I said, why? She's like, you got some dimples on your ass. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, better calm down a little bit on the pizza.
Slow down. What was your diet like when you were at your fattest? What were you eating?
My diet hasn't changed ever. I'm telling you. I had 2 feet of sub. I had 2 foot-long subs 2 nights ago. The night before that, I had pizza. Like last night before bed, I made like a shrimp pasta with cream sauce. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I love.
Always eating that.
Huh?
You know what? As well, because you've never had a problem getting in shape ever. And
no.
I was thinking, Sasan Harati.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we had a discussion about this because he always gets peeled as well. And he always just eats shit in the off season. He's like, I like it, I enjoy it. And then when I cut it out, pre-contest, my body changes so quickly.
Yeah.
So I did that before the Arnold. The brief off season I had, I ate shit. I ate a lot more shit on top of my diet. I didn't really get that much fatter. And when I cut it all out, my body.
Yeah, totally.
So I think there is something to that.
Well, this is the thing. When I say I eat pizza and I eat Subway and I eat McDonald's, people need to understand it's not all I'm eating. Like I'm eating 5 of my meals are bodybuilding meals.
Yeah. And
then probably 4 or 5 times a week, my last meal is something shitty.
The best was when we went to when we were at the LA Fix. So it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Where did we go?
You got into the car in the morning to the expo with this fucking glass bowl about this big, completely filled with human rice. There must have been about 1,000 grams of carbs in this thing. You just sitting there like.
It wasn't. It was like 100 grams of carbs. It's
it was like a whole fucking box. No. It was like you just put it down this big Pyrex glass container.
Maybe I'm measuring wrong. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I'm measuring wrong. It didn't seem like that much to me.
It did look like a lot.
Huh.
Because you said you had a really good week of eating. And you said it was you looked really good at the end of the week because you ate clean the whole week.
My body is like, honestly, man, it's just like you were saying. As soon as I cut out the junk, things change rapidly.
Well, Ben's the other way around. This is the first time we've ever been in the States and he hasn't eaten 17 muffins already. Like he normally just eats and eats and eats like a fucking pig the whole time. And I'm to the point where I'm getting a bit upset.
It's when he starts loading, I start loading, even though I'm
but the thing is, he'll and then when we get back to the UK, he'll be watery for about 2 days, and then he'll look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right now, he's starving himself, eating literally fresh air and about a gram of protein every 4 hours, and he's still the same size.
That's where we're different.
Yeah.
Because for me, if I don't eat the junk, I shrink.
Yeah.
Like I have to get the extra calories in.
Well,
That's
he says the same about me. He says that when I eat junk, I get a little bit of a fat face, but I get really full.
Yeah.
And he said when I cut it out, I get a little leaner, but I just look a little bit flatter. And then I just need the carbs to make me pop again. But mine's a long game. I'm just trying to. The reason I'm doing it is so that I always grow better after a show, and I don't want to compete again. So I just want to do a kind of a diet for no damn reason, just so I can benefit from rebounding.
Yeah. So I mean, he's really serious about it too. So about 2 weeks ago, Chris gave me a cheat meal. Well, not a cheat meal. He said have 5 guys. So we went there and I offered to buy his burger. He's like, no, I'm dieting for nothing, so I'm not going to have a burger. He didn't fucking eat. He just sat there eating a burger on my own, and he wouldn't have one because he's dieting.
Because he's dieting for nothing.
For nothing. All I want to do is test out. So I'm going through to the Olympia, and then post-Olympia, I'll do a controlled rebound. And but I want to get as lean as I can so that the rebound is more effective.
So Sunday morning after the Olympia, he's hitting the buffets.
Don't you think you can get that? So I was doing something similar to that last year. I stayed really lean all year, and I had crazy pumps most of the week. So what I would do is I would diet hard like I was dieting for a show, Monday through Friday afternoon.
Yep.
Friday night and Saturday night, I would basically have whatever the fuck I want. And then Sunday, I would go back to my diet. And Monday through Thursday's workouts were just awesome.
Well, so I worked with Skip Hill a few years ago.
Yeah.
Skip loading.
Oh, he does that too. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I did adopt that right before, for about a month, right? Last time.
Yep.
And now all I've done is just take the skip loading out for a few weeks because I knew we were coming here. So I figure after his show, we'll probably eat and I'll eat then. And I know that Redcon want to do some content where we do some eating stuff. So I just skipped that out last week. But yeah, basically the same thing. I do maybe 5.5 days of hard dieting, and then do a day and a half where I'll load, and then it'll take me through the week.
Yeah, I think it's a good way. Some guys always ask me, like, well, how do you stay lean and still get to have what you want? And I'm like, if you just diet your fucking ass off for 4 days a week or 5 days a week, you can pretty much get away with having 2 heavy days.
I think as long as you don't have horrendous genetics. you know what I mean. You'll work with some clients and you'll give them like one refeed. You're like, Jesus Christ, how much did you eat?
Yeah, but I don't believe those fucking clients, man. When I give somebody a refeed, like a cheat meal, and they're like, I gained 15 pounds. I'm like, you fucking you did not eat what I told you to eat.
Right. So for the most part, you're not gonna across the whole week, 1 day versus 6 days. As long as you're in a deficit for those other 5-6 days.
Yeah, that's what I think. The other thing too is when I did do that, like Friday night would start. See, I schedule my cheat meals for like 9 o'clock at night because I feel like there's only so much damage I can do. Like I usually go to bed at midnight, so I'm like, there's only so much food I can eat between 9 and midnight.
Yeah.
So
fucking gremlin.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hang on, he says he starts at 9 and he doesn't go to bed till 6 the next fucking morning.
No, but seriously, because if I eat my cheat meal for breakfast, my whole fucking my whole day is shot.
Yeah, I always give people I work with, if I ever give them a cheat meal, it's usually that last meal.
That's what I tell people too, because I'm the same way, man. Like,
if you break the diet first thing in the morning, it's really hard to get back on the diet. Especially if it's a very extreme diet.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, "Well, I just grin and bear it because I'm fucking hardcore." Stop talking shit. It's harder. I don't care who you are. It is harder.
Well, it's physiologically harder. You're spiking your insulin,
Absolutely.
And then your insulin's going to crash, and then your body wants more.
I have a massive problem with people that pretend how hardcore they are. Not pretend, but they make a thing of it. They're like, I get up at 4 a.m. to do my cardio. You don't need to. You just why? I don't have any seasoning on my food. All right? Why?
Yeah, why'd you do that?
It's like they wear it like a badge of honor, like they're better than everyone else. Just because they're not.
Evan said that to me once. Evan said, he didn't say it to me. He was saying it to someone, I think. He said, if you can't eat your oatmeal without Splenda, you probably shouldn't be a bodybuilder. And I'm like, I can't eat my fucking oatmeal without Splenda. Like, it's disgusting.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I have a bit of salt instead. So.
What do you put in your Splenda? In your oatmeal?
I actually smoked salt. I used a little tiny bit of smoked sea salt and calorie-free maple syrup. It's really good.
Oh, the calorie-free maple syrup.
Cinnamon.
Do you like cinnamon?
Cinnamon and Splenda. That's what I put in mine.
I can't fucking stand cinnamon.
That's why
I liked it.
That's probably why you have a weight problem. Don't you know cinnamon helps with like insulin?
All right, pig boy. Yeah.
Anyways, listen, let's get to some of these questions.
Yes.
Oh, just really off topic because I know that you're a big UFC fan.
Yeah.
I was talking to Rudy, the athlete manager. You might not, but Rumble Johnson might be hanging around tomorrow, and I'll fanboy hard on that.
Okay.
Right. I always see your UFC posts and your
ask him if he's coming back.
Wow, yeah.
Because I heard something about him coming back, but there's no like confirmation.
I don't know. See, I always talk to him about UFC and he just switches off, and I'm like,
well, no, it's not.
I know. My training partner's the same way. He's fucking. How come you can't watch? How can you not watch fighting? It's like the easiest thing to watch.
Because I'd rather watch pretend people fighting other pretend people.
Cartoon. I like watching cartoons fight anime.
What the fuck? What's wrong with you?
Avengers.
Dude, it's 15 minutes of your life, and two guys are going to beat the shit out of each other. How can that not be entertaining?
Because it just looks like two dogs scrapping over a hot dog to me. And everyone's like, oh, did you see that grapple? No, I didn't. I just saw him trying to fucking punch him in the face.
If there were two dogs fighting over a hot dog, you'd watch it.
You'd watch that.
Yeah, but who wouldn't, to be fair?
All right. Anyway. All right, let's cover some of these so people don't think we're ignoring them. Okay.
All right. Bye, then.
Joseph Flynn says the difference between growing up in Canada and the UK, perhaps, with bodybuilding aspirations. Interesting or no?
That's quite an interesting question, but I don't know what it's like to be in Canada, and you don't want to know what it's like.
No, well, you should answer for the UK, and I'll answer for Canada.
It's as of now, it's fucking amazing because bodybuilding in the UK is huge. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of great gyms. With social media, one of the reasons why I think it does have its merits, it doesn't matter in the world where you live anymore. But
wait a minute, he's saying coming up. So he says between growing up in the UK.
Yeah, but this is what I'm getting at. Because we're not so secluded anymore. We're not like this little, because a few years ago we were just completely out of it.
Yeah.
And now we're not. And so we can, because of social media, we're kind of more included in everything in the international side of things. We get to see things that, like I said, the gyms are now very good everywhere. Within about 40 minutes of my house, there's probably the 3 or 4 best gyms in the country near me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even if you want to talk about like the drugs, they're legal here. Not here, but at home in the UK, they're legal to possess. So again, there's none of that legality issue. So
yeah.
I think any one of the best places to be now if you want to be a bodybuilder is in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a good culture. I mean, you guys have a lot of good bodybuilders coming out of there, and you guys all kind of have the same look.
Which because weights are heavier in the UK. I don't know if you knew that.
What's that?
Because kilos are heavier than pounds.
You're such an idiot. Believe it or not, growing up in Canada was the same as the UK. Even though we're right next to the US. When it came time to sign contracts or anything like that, companies would be like, "Oh, you're from Canada? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Not doing that." Because they didn't want to fly you from Canada, and it was like a big deal and all this shit. But yeah, like you said, now, plus back then, like if you won the Canadas and you turned pro, nobody covered it.
Yeah, same in the UK, no one cared.
No one gave a shit. It's like if you won the USAs, it was like all over all the magazines, and you were the next biggest thing. And yeah, so his second question is, how close was your ideal woman growing up to what you are or have been with nowadays?
Wait, say it again.
So I think he's saying, if you had an idea growing up of what kind of woman you wanted to be with, how close have you gotten to that?
Perfection.
No, how close have you found a woman that's like that?
Yeah. I found it, and I fucked up.
You found her and you fucked it up?
Yeah, that's what the whole last 3 podcasts have been about, for fuck's sake.
That's the girl? She's the perfect one?
Yeah.
Have you tried to get her back yet?
Yeah.
You did?
No. Well, I don't know. It's not terrible like it was.
So she's kind of forgiven you a little bit.
No, it's just, I think it's just we're just kind of enough time's passed now so we can kind of open a dialect and it not be too aggressive.
I'm going to predict in 6 months you'll be back together with her.
Yes, that's fine.
I'm cool with that.
What did Ben say?
He's saying less because he's fucking sick of me talking about her, probably.
Yeah, well, I married mine, so I think I did okay.
Exactly, yeah. That's the thing. That's the problem. When you find them, you have to fucking marry them. I kind of wish I had now.
No, I literally, growing up, was like, I want a skinny chick with big boobs, with blonde hair and blue eyes. And I'm like, I want her to be smart and this and that, and that's who I found.
See, what weirdly for me, I don't really have a type at all. It's you're either really hot or you're not, and we either get along or we don't.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know. That's kind of what I thought about growing up. Now, had I met like a Mexican girl with brown hair and no boobs, if I clicked, I'm not going to be like, no, sorry.
No. Yeah, but it's like when I see a guy, it's my type is so, it varies so much.
Yeah.
If I have somebody said, what is your type? I'll be like, I don't know.
You know what? I would say no. I would say I don't have a type, but all 3 of my long-term relationships have been blonde hair and blue-eyed white girls.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my type.
My last 3 long-term exes. So my son's mother, and she has never been to a gym in her life. She's very, very fair. She's got red hair. And then there's my ex following that. She was an IFBB physique pro. She was a fitness model. Then she turned pro. Now she's like an entrepreneur. She's great, and she has huge boobs, short blonde hair. And then my last ex is covered in piercings, tattoos, long dark hair. That's cool. So that can be sexy if it's done right. Yeah. Yes, again. Have you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Okay. Have you covered all the countries? The majority of countries? No. Not even close? No, not even close. Is there any countries that you want to cover that you haven't? I don't know. For those of you who don't know what I mean by countries, I'm asking if he slept with a woman in each country, he can. I haven't even been to each country. I haven't been to each country either, but I haven't even been to all of the countries in the United Kingdom. I've never been to Scotland. You don't have to. Okay, I don't mean every country on Earth. I'm just okay. How about? Are you talking ethnicity? How about every continent? Yeah, or ethnicity? Yeah. No. Is there any ethnicities missing that you'd like to fill in? Fill in. Fuck's sake. I like it's I don't know. The thing is, we live in a day and age now where anything you say could be perceived as racist. It's not fucking racist. No, I know it's not. I'm fucking talking about the pussy listeners, but you can't say Japanese. Well, fuck, who cares about those fucking guys? We know we're not racist. Fuck them. Who cares? Sometimes Japanese women are very attractive, and sometimes they're not. But sometimes. But I think that statement goes for all ethnicities. But like sometimes you'll see Japanese women is absolutely like phenomenal. Okay. And then, but they're quite rare. But that's not. I don't see that as often in other races. I do. Because it's like they could probably like all kind of stuff. Oh, you mean other races have like more average? Yes. And then
not such a disparity.
There's massive disparities. Like that's just so
you're for sure in trouble for saying that.
I know,
sure.
but it's not racism, is it? It's not. But I mean, the thing is, if you're an attractive woman, you're an attractive woman. I don't really care what color you are, where you're from. Just get your bum out, all right? For fuck's sake.
All right. I'm just gonna. That's gonna be the teaser. No,
that's why I put it in there because I thought you'd need that. You need that little.
So, okay, one more question, and I'll get off that topic.
All right.
Is there an ethnicity off the top of your head you have always wondered about, but haven't yet experienced?
Not really, no.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's no. That's not even me being coy. I'm just trying to think of anything that I'm. Really,
no, it's fine.
I just don't think there is. No.
You're 32 now.
31 on Saturday.
Yeah, you should have experienced most of those countries anyway.
Yeah.
Question is from Woot B. Why do girls like Ben Chow that much?
I fucking don't know. Can you answer this?
What's up?
Why do girls like Ben Chow so much?
What girls? I want send them. What fucking girls?
It's because he's got his like fucking gay, like bleached hair and his neck tattoo, and he drives a Harley Davidson, and he's got.
Oh, he's got like that look going.
That look,
yeah, girls like that.
I know. I don't realize what a prick he is and stop being with him.
All right, wait a minute here. Let's see. These are supplement questions. I don't know. Do you want to answer boring questions?
Yeah, just give some boring ones. We need quick fire boring questions.
Out of all bodybuilding supplements on the market, which supplement in the industry, in your opinions, is or are the most pointless supplements that people seem to spend money on?
Glutamine. Just because I've personally never noticed anything, and
but it is good for gut health.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's something you notice immediately.
Yeah, but I've like loaded up on it for months at a time. And
yeah.
Die hard. I stopped using it and noticed nothing.
I think I can.
Branched chain amino acids are relatively just like because now essential amino acids are sort of more readily available. I think branched chains are just.
Yeah, I don't do branched chains anymore.
Completely redundant now.
Yeah, I don't do branched chains anymore, especially most of the science is pointing to EAAs, so I don't do that. But yeah, I think I would agree on the glutamine. I almost want to say a multivitamin because I feel like there's just not enough vitamins and minerals to cover anything anyway.
It's fun to see how yellow your piss goes.
Huh?
It makes your piss really yellow, so that's fun.
Yeah, it does. So you like that? It's worth it then?
You have like an animal pack and it's like your piss is like luminous. It comes in handy if you need to piss in the dark.
All right, we'll stick with glutamine. So glutamine shit. We're not going to use that anymore. Can you guys chat about eating or training on the road? Some of the things you do for convenience to be successful, nailing everything. Okay, well, this is good. You just traveled to Tampa. How'd you do it?
I just cooked my food and packed it in a bag.
How much food did you cook?
My whole day's worth.
So you cooked 1 day's worth of food,
and then I took it.
And got on the plane.
And then we got on the plane, got to the hotel, briefly unpacked, had a shower, went down to this grocery store, picked up the rest of what we needed.
So is your hotel has a kitchenette then?
Yes. See that?
Yeah. So that's what I do too. Mm-hmm. Pack enough food for the day. Once you get there, get to a grocery store, get all the shit you need.
Right, so go back to like convenience. If like you don't have meals on you, a lot of the time, there's things that I'll do is I'll go and buy like a packet of rice cakes and a big tub of like Greek yogurt.
Actually, can I tell you what I used to do when I was a SciTech? Because they wouldn't give us a choice of where we want to stay, and hotels didn't have kitchenettes. Yeah. So I used to vacuum seal all my meals individually.
Yes.
Freeze them. They had their own suitcase, and I would just check that suitcase, and it would stay cold on the flight over because it was in the checked baggage. And then when we got there, I would unpack it. It would still be frozen.
Yeah.
And I would just put it all in the freezer, and then I had my meals for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, that's a very good
I
idea.
stole that idea from Evan Senapani, so I don't want to take credit for it.
I think I've heard him say that. That's clever. And I know that one thing I stole from Dusty Hanshaw was instead of packing my meals. So if I have 4 chicken and rice meals,
yeah,
I'll do the little sandwich, little freezer bags, and then the chicken, and I'll put 3 lots of rice, 3 lots of chicken in one Tupperware, and you can get more. It's like,
Wait, say that again.
so I'll put the rice
Yeah.
and the chicken in little separate like freezer bags.
Yeah.
I'll boil them up, and then I'll put 3 of each in the one Tupperware. So instead of having
Oh, okay. So you have 3 meals in each Tupperware.
so it's just
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's common sense really when you think about it, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, but sometimes it takes somebody to show you that stuff. You're not always that.
Yeah. I mean, this is one thing that I learned very recently, and I felt really stupid afterwards. Like weighing out peanut butter, because I used to actually weigh it out rather than just put the tub on the scales, press 0, and whatever you take out is how much it weighs.
I've never did that either.
It's really good, isn't it? And it sounds.
I'm going to start speaking like in English. But that's a brilliant idea,
isn't it? See? It's amazing, and
but I'll tell you how lazy I am. I don't weigh my peanut butter. I just go, oh, it's a tablespoon. And I take a tablespoon.
You're just there with the fucking ladle, like
a serving spoon.
Yeah. But like in terms of like on the road meals, like if you really have to, you get like a foot-long Subway with just chicken salad.
Oh, you mean like if you're in the off season?
Yeah, like I mean, if you need like quick on the go meals, there's plenty of stuff you can find around.
Well, in the U.S., there's tons of shit.
In the U.S., it's so easy.
In the U.S., like you guys in the States are so lucky. Like the grocery stores are packed with like just ready-made shit, and even if you don't go to the grocery store, there's food chains everywhere. And
also, I've noticed in the US that restaurants are very good at if you're saying I want the chicken cooked like this, I don't want it like this, I want potatoes. They can normally 9 times out of 10 completely accommodate for you.
Yeah. No, for me, flying to Europe was always a bitch.
Yeah.
It's not accommodating at all. Like people
in
like
the UK, if you're like, I don't want butter on my potato, they're like, well, fuck off then.
You're like, we already made it. It's got butter on it. Sorry. Like that's.
Yeah.
Let's skip this one. I don't like it's negative. It's like. Who do you guys think has been the worst Mr. Olympia in terms of physique and ambassadorship?
I don't know, because anyone you say is going to sound personal, and it for me it isn't. So
I know people. Listen, can I say something?
Yeah.
I know people think Phil Heath was a bad ambassador.
I agree.
I just want to say one thing. So. I don't think people take into consideration that Phil Heath is the first Mr. Olympia. I know Jay probably caught some of it, but Phil Heath is the first Mr. Olympia to have to deal with social media while being Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. I actually, just because of the way his year has panned out, which is not his fault, I think Sean Roden
has been a bad ambassador.
No, not because of any fault of his own. It's just because of the allegations he made, that whole like bullshit around the guest spot, and the fact that he hasn't really done anything. He just kind of.
I don't want to. The whole question's kind of fucked up, because if you're Mr. Olympia, you can't really say anything bad about their physique. Yeah. But if we're picking one, I'm gonna have to say, is it Chris Dickerson, or that's a football player, isn't it?
I think. I know who you mean. Yeah.
Why don't I remember the name right now?
I don't know. You should be prepared. You're a host of a podcast.
I'm not the fucking host. You're the host.
No, I'm the co-host. You actually thought me being the co-host. Don't go back on that.
Now I have to fucking edit this.
No, leave this in. People love this.
It is Chris Dickerson. I knew I wasn't crazy.
But then when you said he's a football player, I was like, that does sound like a football player.
I think that's Eric Dickerson.
Okay, but then there's Jay Cutler, the football player, as well.
That's true. We both sound stupid, so let's just move on to the next question.
Well, I don't have football in my country. We have actual football, not fucking NFL. We have not soccer.
I don't know why they call soccer football. I don't know why.
No, I did find this out.
Or why they call football soccer here. I don't know how that happened.
It's something to do. I did look it up recently and I've forgotten. I'll find out for next week.
I'm going to read this for you because it's completely ridiculous.
Okay, go.
It says, this is from the last podcast. It says, Luke is spot on. My wife farts in the store when I'm with her and then looks at me like I did it.
Yeah.
No damn well everybody looks at me versus her and thinks it was me.
But then I do the same thing in return. Sometimes I'll just absolutely just let out a fucking banger and then be like, oh, you're disgusting.
Wait a minute. And then it says, LOL, hang in there, bud. There are good girls that love anal too.
Yeah, I know. I know this. People keep telling me as if they're like the fairies and they're just mystical creatures that don't exist. I know.
All right. I don't know any of them.
Yeah, well, you're in Canada. Maybe just English.
Maybe that's why Canadian girls don't like anal.
Maybe.
Anyways, so the question for the show is, when your time comes, are you going to be Dorian Yates and love your best life, or be training till the end like Ronnie Coleman. So I think they're saying when your retirement comes, are you going to retire like Dorian, or are you going to retire like Ronnie?
A bit of both, I think. So I think one of the like Jay. There you go.
Well,
So,
Jay is like Ronnie minus the injuries.
Yeah. So I'd like to retire, but I enjoy training, and I would enjoy I enjoy looking a certain way. He's one person that I always kind of thought that's exactly how I'd like to be when I retire. Was Jason Herr. You know, he was kind of like 225, 230, good shape, pretty lean, still had a mean front double, wasn't huge, and he said it was really easy for him to maintain it.
Yeah.
That kind of look.
Yeah, I kind of like Jay's retirement better, or Ronnie's. I think I would be more like Jay or Ronnie, because I like that they're still active in the industry.
Yeah, Jay's almost more active than ever.
Yeah, Jason has kind of like launched his company and then kind of faded away.
I feel like his company's like huge, because maybe it's because I follow.
No. I'm not saying the company's not huge. I'm saying Jason's not overly active.
Do you mean in terms of him as a bodybuilder?
Yeah, like being on social media or posting or like that kind of stuff.
He got rid of his beard as well, which I was really upset about. I think I unfollowed him. I was like, dick. I unfollowed you for your beard. Go on.
I kind of like being, for me, it's like a black and white thing. Either I'm going to be in the industry in some way, or I'm going to walk away completely from it. But I'd like to be in the industry. So I see Jay's approach being the approach I'd like to follow.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you saying you don't know how to do anything else.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. What am I going to do? Go back to playing drums? No.
It's not that I don't know. I'm sure I could figure out, like, I don't know. I have other skills, I think, but I don't want to do anything else.
There you go. Exactly. So
all right.
I think what you're doing now is great, actually, because even if you do retire, decide to retire, say in 3 years' time, you've started this kind of podcasting and the whole media side of it, and you will have that a long time after you've retired.
Well, this is the thing. When I started it, I kind of started just for, I started just for a reason to get people to kind of know who bodybuilders are.
Yeah.
But I find I really enjoy it.
There you go.
My wife's like, you haven't enjoyed anything.
How is it? So have you managed to keep up with the whole being nice?
Yeah, I'm not doing bad.
And how's it going?
I enjoy being a nicer person.
Right.
But I try and turn it off when I'm at the gym.
That's fine.
I like being a complete dick when I'm training.
Well, there you go. Then that's that. You know how like Kai Green used to say, like Ronnie Coleman cannot be a nice guy if he trains the way he does.
Yeah. I love that clip.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's true. Is all of us as bodybuilders, to do what we do, we all have a dark side. We know we have to.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're trying to put all of that in and focus that where it should be into your training or whatever you're doing, and then keep the good side of yourself and your family, I think that's a really nice way to be.
You know what? You brought up
it's easier said than done,
but you brought up a good point I want to ask you about, because I feel like there's two styles of training. There is people who train emotionally, and there's people who train technically. Like for me, when I'm lifting, I'm a total emotional lifter. Yeah. Like I get myself kind of amped up before I get to the gym. I have angry music playing. I'm like, I'm in a different place. Like when I'm working out.
Yeah. No,
and some people don't have to do that. Some people just drive to the gym and they just do their thing.
Yeah, that's true. But who looks better in the most part? Would you say, out of the two?
Like when I think of Reagan, I don't think of an emotional lifter.
No.
And he's got Olympia potential.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, I don't think one is better than the other. I just wonder.
I don't either, but I was wondering, just wanted to know if you thought there was one that kind of was better than the other.
No, I don't. I just can't do it the other way.
I mean, I like the idea of like logging things and keeping track on some things. The only reason I ever did that was to make it more fun for myself.
Yeah.
To give myself targets.
No, I don't think it means you're not an emotional lifter if you have to write stuff down.
No.
I'm saying this, when I get to the gym or even when I leave the house, I start getting my stuff ready to leave. It's kind of like I already got something brewing.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
And then when I'm in the car, I'm on the way there, I got certain music playing, and then I got
everything in your head before you've done the workout. Like you have a couple of lifts and you want to nail X amount of weight for X amount of reps, and that's what you're going to do today.
I know when I go like to train legs, for example, I'm like, today I'm going to squat and I'm probably going to hit the leg press, or like I kind of always have an idea.
I always picture a lot of my lifts like, I'll say, right, today I'm going to press the 200-pound dumbbells with this kind of rep, and they're going to get this many reps. And I picture it for about a day, like the whole day before. I wake up in the morning, I think about it. And then when I go to the gym and I say, Ben, right, can you film this? It's like everything's kind of gone to that moment where I'm just, I'm fucking there.
I used to do that when I was younger and I didn't get injured every time I lifted a weight. Now I just picture getting through the workout without a fucking injury. And then I'm like, I'm happy.
When you're at the end, you're like, oh, I didn't get hurt. That was a success.
No, but you know what? Well, actually, that is true, to be honest with you. Some days I'm just happy that I got through it. But before I tore my tricep, I was squatting, and I started squatting heavy again.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're right. The day before legs, I would be like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to squat 405, and I'm going to squat it for at least 15 reps.
Yep.
And I would go in and I would nail 17. And it was the same thing. It would be leading up all to that fucking moment where I'm putting my knee wraps on and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. So yeah, there is that element, but to me, it's all emotional. It's like all like stirring up this like emotion before going to the gym.
I think a lot of it is just like, you have to consider it kind of, it's not, it is and it isn't. It sounds really silly when you say it, but it is in a way an emotional release where you get to get out some of that frustration.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I don't want to be one of those dicks that say the gym is my therapy.
Dude, I fucking say that all the time.
I know, Dick. It's like, but it's like, it sounds pretentious, even though it isn't.
It does not sound pretentious. It does not sound pretentious. It sounds like exactly what you just said.
Yeah, it does, but
look, you know I'm an angry person. So I have all this fucking anger that I'm trying to control like in normal society.
Yes.
And when I go to the gym, I get to fucking be nuts.
I completely agree with what you're saying, and I know it.
So that's why it's therapy.
I know, but when you say it out loud, to me, it still sounds silly.
It depends who's saying it.
Not when you say it's not silly because you're a proper hardcore professional bodybuilder. When I see somebody that's been in the gym for 2 weeks and they've not ever done anything, and they're like, the gym is my therapy. It's all right. Well, calm down. Yeah, yourself. I appreciate you're enjoying this, but so I think some people just say. I think it's what it is. Some people say it to be cool.
I know what you mean. I think what you're trying to say is they don't feel it the way we feel it because we're literally putting every ounce of everything we have into this one fucking hour.
Yes.
And they're just there for fun.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not taking
for the most part. They're there for.
It's like they're just monkey see, monkey do. They're just repeating what you say, and then they think they're on the.
Yeah, some people not. I see your point though.
Yeah.
This is me being nice.
Yeah.
I think we've reversed roles.
Well, I'm jet lagged, so I'm allowed to.
So you're allowed to be an asshole.
Yeah, today's my turn.
All right, let's hit a couple more of these, and I'll let you go because you got a show in 5 days.
No, we're good. Let's go.
Holy shit. Okay, you know what? We'll do this guy as the last one because he has like 5 questions in one.
All right.
Tell us your experiences with bad women, if you had any, mean girls that cheated on you, or girls that were with you for fame or money or both. What are your bad experiences, Luke?
I can't. What do you mean with me for fame or money or both?
Well, he's using those as examples, but we don't have fame or money, so I don't know what the fuck. I'm
not at that level.
Yeah.
I've actually been very fortunate to not, because I think I'm quite a good judge of character. So I think with me as well, it's really, I don't fall for people. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So if I ever let anyone slightly in, they have had to go through a very long vetting process first.
Really?
Yeah, so like I don't just let them in willy-nilly into my life. It's like I keep them at arm's length until I'm sure, and by that point, I would have already known whether they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of you. I fall like a fucking ton of bricks.
Yeah, I don't at all.
After like a week, I'm in.
Yeah, that's the complete opposite of me.
Okay, my bad experiences. My first girlfriend, I dated for 3 years, cheated on me, and then I found out and I left her. And then she got pregnant by the guy, and then the guy left her. So I went with her to get an abortion and kind of make sure she was okay and all that. We ended up back together. And then she fucking cheated on me again.
She's a dick.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So, yeah. So that's probably the worst experience I ever had with a woman. Yeah. Other than that, I've been pretty lucky as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the time you're always going to maybe attract somebody bad once.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows that's just the way it is. But I think if you were to keep attracting that type of person, then that's probably says a lot about you, and you might need to take a step back and have a look at yourself and figure out why.
Well, if I had to say anything, I think the first one, the reason that happened to me is because I was young and I didn't know any better.
Yeah, no, of
It
course.
was like my first girlfriend. I'm like, I thought it was like the only girl in the fucking universe, and so anyway, second question is, in your opinion or experience, is it a good idea for a competing bodybuilder to have a relationship with a woman who also is competing?
Okay, well, I can answer this because my one ex, I've already mentioned, she was a pro, and she turned pro a year before me, and we were together, and we were both competing together as pros and as amateurs. It didn't destroy our relationship at all because we were both kind of equally as selfish as each other. But what the problem was we had, I don't know how much this is going to kind of help or answer the question. When she decided she was going to retire and not put any of her effort onto that, the whole relationship was very lost. And
That's right.
We don't have much anymore. So I think if you are in a relationship with somebody that competes, you need to make sure you have something else that isn't just competing.
100% agree. My previous relationship was a girl who competes. Yep. And I think my career took off faster than hers.
Yes.
And hers didn't really go anywhere, so it kind of fizzled out for the time being. Mm-hmm. And she became more interested in partying than bodybuilding. Yep. And then that's where it fell apart, because really I think that's the only thing that was holding us together.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. If there's nothing else except bodybuilding, then you probably don't. It's not a good recipe.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
What's wrong with most of the women nowadays? Why do most of them prefer skinny boys with tight pants? Where did this come from?
Well, they do all prefer Ben. You're right. No, I don't think that's the case really. But you got to look at the social things and like the media, the movie stars. Because back in the 80s and 90s, women were brought up with men, masculine men,
like Magnum PI,
fucking Magnum with his tash, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jean-Claude Van Damme and like
Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
And these days, our action heroes are not like that.
Because even the Rock, even though he's big, is a little bit like of a metro.
Yeah, and then we look at like Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor. He's the most he's a beautiful man. He's not fucking man, is he? He's not a man's man. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when you're brought up around that, and you're kind of programmed in a way to find what's attractive and what isn't, which is why I think a lot of older women prefer a more manly man, whereas the younger women don't, because they're of a different generation. But if you look back at like 200, 300 years ago, women that were really fat with thin, short, balding hair, very pale with brown teeth, were considered more attractive. That was the most attractive woman could be.
When was that?
The Tudor era. So then, if they're really pale with brown teeth and shit hair and like scraggly skin, it means they could afford makeup, it means they could afford sugar, and it means they didn't have to go outside, so they were wealthy enough to stay indoors. So that was attractive. And nowadays, you'd be like, you're minging.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the time it's what are you brought up with? What's there in front of you for an entire upbringing? What is the man that you look up to?
What's society portraying as the most perfect?
Yeah, because why is it all of a sudden having a huge ass is all of a sudden so important to women? But in the 90s, if a woman was, does my ass look big in this? You're like, no, it doesn't. And that would be the correct answer. Nowadays, girls like, does my bum look big in this? And you're like, no. She'd freak out. You have to say, yes, it's massive. And they're like, okay, good. And that's kind of just the way, I think it's just the times move, and women and men change what they're attracted to based on that.
The most important part of all that answer is you have a affliction for Chris Hemsworth.
Mate, come on. Are you telling me that Chris Hemsworth is not a beautiful man?
Is he the most beautiful man you can think of?
No, I think that would happen to be Jason Momoa.
Who's that?
Aquaman.
Oh, that guy.
Because it's like have you seen Wonder Woman as well?
Yeah. Well, no, but I know who that is.
Yeah, the actress herself, I'm not that bothered. But when I was watching the movie, I was like, you are literally the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Because a lot of the time it's the character, the way they've been lit.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like, not Chris Hemsworth, but when he's Thor or when Jason Momoa is Aquaman, I'm just sat in the cinema like, I'm an ugly human.
Did you think he was a better looking man in Aquaman, or isn't that the same guy from Game of Thrones?
Yeah. I think he looks better in Aquaman because his persona is different as well.
Okay. I just learned something new about you.
I don't think there's anything wrong with appreciating another man's looks.
No, but I was curious as what your type was.
I've just chosen two guys with really long hair and you're gutted. That's what it is. You're like, I'm bored. He's never going to want me.
Fuck you. All right. Couple more. Then we'll go. That's boring. Next. This is going to be a long one. I want to hear about the journeys of both of you in bodybuilding.
That's a whole episode.
That's a whole episode in itself. Okay, we'll go to the back of the one before. Yeah. Love the podcast. My question, as a young fan of the sport, I've seen many bodybuilders talk about how during contest prep, they have nothing to do aside from lifting, eating, and sleeping. Is that what you and Luke do, or do you all find stuff to do to take up your time? I
fucking never sit down. I'm probably not as busy as I make out, but I never feel like I have any free time to do anything.
Okay. I'm going to say this. Before I started the podcast, actually, I'm just going to say it this way. When I was only competing and it was my only focus, I did nothing but compete. And the only thing I would do during prep, like to pass the time, was shop for cars.
All right.
I would. That's all. I'm a car freak. I would just shop for cars. I did a lot of online buying at like Amazon and shit like that. But I didn't have anything else to do, man.
I mean, we'll put it this way. I keep buying games, and I have not opened any single one of them. I keep buying them, and I just never.
Don't you find it's crazy when you're dieting? You do like shit like that?
I just don't have any time to play them. I was even going to buy.
But do you think we're just spending money because we can't go out and do fun stuff? So we're like, we'll shop?
No, I'm not spending money because I'm spending money. I'm thinking I'm going to buy this game so I can play it in my free time, and then I buy it and then don't have free time.
See, for me, I just like to shop. I'll go on Amazon. I'll buy the dumbest shit.
Yeah, that's true. So I spent about $250 on a gun that fires salt to kill flies. It's amazing, and I'm so glad I bought it. It's like a pump-action shotgun, and it fires the salt, and it just obliterates flies.
Are you fucking serious?
It's fucking sick, man.
I think I'm going to look that up. That sounds actually interesting.
It's called a bug assault.
Do you have that many flies in your house?
No, not really. But when you find one, you're like, you little fucker. And you got it, you're like Rambo. And it's like, and sometimes the dog gets involved and he's like, what's this fly?
You're a fucking weird person. You know that?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I should change it. You're an interesting.
Well, it's way more fun taking out a fly with a shotgun than it is with a SWAT.
Yeah, I know. I just would have never thought of that.
No, I didn't either until I saw it on Amazon. I didn't look at it. I think I'll Google guns that fire salt to take out flies. It just appeared on Amazon. I don't know why it appeared on Amazon, but it did.
Yeah.
I was add to cart, buy now. Swipe right to buy. It was like one of those quick ones. And then instantly I was like, I can't believe I've spent all that money on that. And then when it came, I was pleasantly surprised. So
yeah, I do that a lot when I'm dieting. I don't know why. Passes the time. Okay, I'm going to let you go. I can't believe you actually sat through this.
I feel okay now. I mean, I think it's because I've sat down and I'm just like, okay, good. And it's not even that late. It's like
8:30.
It's 8:30. It's pretty early.
Yeah.
I think I've got to do pictures for Chris now.
So what are you guys going to do? For those of people who don't know, what are you going to do now? You guys going to sit around, rent a movie, or do you actually go out and explore?
No. Ben's editing videos for Brutal Muscle. I'm wrapping this up. I'm going to do pictures downstairs for Chris in the gym. And then I'm going to have a shower. And then I'll probably do some emails. And then, yep. Oh, yeah. So we, the video Ben's editing now. Is when we were in Flex's gym earlier, we got Neil going off on one about William.
Did you film it?
Yeah.
Are you gonna leave it in?
Yeah, he told us to. He's like, you fucking leave this in.
He's gonna regret. I bet she's gonna regret that.
Neil loves it. So,
do you think he's? Didn't we talk about this last week?
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot of new things today about it. It wasn't. I think because I hadn't heard Neil's side of the story when we did our thing.
Yeah.
I think it's, based on what I heard today, like, it's not quite as much, like, William's playing a bit more of a victim than I think he...
Okay, wait a minute, though. I just want to say one thing about that, because a lot of people said that in the comments section of our last video.
Mm-hmm.
And my response to them was, you're still only hearing one side of the story.
Yeah. We've heard both sides now. They both...
No, not really, because you heard... This is what I said to one guy.
Okay.
They're like, well, we we got both sides of the story. And I'm like, no, you got William ranting for 5 minutes in an Instagram video like a lunatic. And you have a very calm, measured interview by Neil that tells his side of the story. So I don't feel like we have really William's full side of the story. I feel like he was just pissed off and said a bunch of shit.
Well, that's his side of the story, though, isn't it?
Not really. If you say something when you're furious, it's not really you explaining.
I actually find I think the truth normally does come out when you're angry. That's the problem, because you don't hold back. There's no restraint there. So
yeah, but if that is the truth, then it's 40%, which is insane.
Yeah,
but what I'm trying to say is, you got a guy who's furious, is kind of going off and not really, and then you have Neil sitting down for an hour.
Well, Neil did tell me today that he's actually Williams' he's actually Williams' manager, and he does it, and he arranges a lot of things. He's got him all of his sponsors.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So,
well, I mean, if you want to know,
just go and watch the video, because he goes into a lot of detail on that.
There's two things I think about it. If he's his agent, then he deserves the money. Like, being a coach and being like, if William's calling him a coach, that's one thing. But if he's his agent, that's a different story, because your agent takes a cut. That's how it works.
So I mean, go check out the video.
And
then you'll see.
The ultimate thing I think about that shit is people drop their, why is it, I'm curious about, why is it such a big deal? People leave coaches every day.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I mean, we're talking about it because we're doing media right now, but I don't think either of us actually give a fuck.
No.
So we're just talking about it because we have a platform to talk about it, and people keep asking and they want our opinion.
I've had 4 coaches. Nobody ever gave a shit when I left.
No, I've had 3 as well. I've worked with Justin Harris, Matt Jansen, and Chris.
I think it's just because it was made public.
I think it's because he threw his toys out of the pram, didn't he? He got a bit upset.
Yeah.
It was handled badly.
It was handled very badly. I think, personally, I think William's getting the worst end of it. So he probably could have saved himself some shit by just not saying anything. The best
bit about it was when he kept banging on about his house, and it's not even a bad house. It's just dirty. That was the best bit.
I saw Bob Ciccarello's interview on Muscular Development. He said the same thing. He's like, your fucking house is just dirty, man. Just clean it up a little bit.
Columbo said the same thing. I think all of us have just said, just fucking have a mop.
Anyway, man, look, I might try and make it to Tampa Bay this weekend if I can.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's my birthday on Saturday, so if you do.
Is it really?
Yeah, so if you do make it down, come out for food afterwards.
Yeah, that would be fucking cool. Look, if we can get a dog sitter, I think me and my wife will come down.
Yes. I mean, if you want me to help you with your relationship advice while she's down, there's no problem.
Yeah, we can do like an in-person therapy thing.
I'll sit down with both of you, and I'll be like, right, what's going on?
Anyway, man, listen, if I don't talk to you before the show, good luck, crush it, fucking kill everybody on stage. And
I'm waiting for the official list to come out. It still hasn't come out. One came out about 3 days ago, and I think the main list was going to come out today.
The only people I know that are doing it are Dexter, and I think Ian's doing it.
I know that Ian's doing it. I've still heard from certain people that Dexter isn't doing it. So,
why would he not do it? Doesn't he have to do it? Oh, he's qualified for life because he was Mr. Olympia. So why would he? Yeah, why would he do it anyway? He
wants his 30th win, but then I've heard from other people now that Sean's out and the Olympia's wide open, he's going to go for that instead.
Oh, he's focusing on it. That's right.
I don't know. He wasn't on the list on Friday, so we'll see.
And you're doing it just to make sure you can shore up your points.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, okay. obviously, I want to win it, but the
No, I know, but you want to make sure you're not like
it's more of a security thing,
like bumped out. Mm-hmm. And you don't know anybody else doing it other than Ian.
What do you mean?
Like other than Ian and Dexter, you haven't heard of anybody else doing it?
Yeah, I know Charles Griffin's doing it. Lucas Osledill's doing it. There is Milan Shadik's doing it. There's some really good guys. So, for some reason, I picked all the hardest shows this year.
Well, they've all actually not. There's only been a couple easy ones. Well, I don't want to say easy. No, there's no easy shows, but
it's like the smaller shows. Like a lot of the smaller shows were really rammed, and the New York Pro was very weak compared to how it normally is.
Yeah, but New York hasn't been stacked, really, has it?
About 3 years ago, it was like Kuklo, the Asher.
3 years ago, it was crazy. Yeah,
Dexter. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years ago, it was crazy. Anyway, whatever. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, man.
And I hope I can get there and check it out in person.
Yeah, let me know if you are. That'd be good. We'll get something booked in.
Okay, man. We're signing off.
Yes. Goodbye, everyone.
Until next week, leave your comments in the comment section. Wish Luke good luck, and I'll leave everybody's links and everything in the description section.
Goodbye, Ben.
Goodbye, Ben.
Nice.
See you guys.
Yeah.